everybody. Welcome to another episode of Deepen with Christina. I'm your host, Christina Weber, founder of We Deepen, wedeepen.com. And today I have a really special conversation that I am going to let you in on. A friend of mine, Christopher, about a month ago sent me a text message and he said, you should talk with my friend, Chi. He is one of the most amazing, interesting human beings to exist. And he is working on launching a decentralized social network called Liberson. Now, my curiosity piqued because, as you know, who's listening to this, and as I always say, go to wedeepen.com, check out the calendar. There's all types of transformational experiences, and that will support you being in connection with amazing, beautiful, interesting human beings, and that our organization of We Deepen is in its early stages. We are developing a system. We want you to be in person with each other, to learn relational skills, to be in states of play and joy and fun, to help your relationships, romantic and work relationships, thrive, to make the dating process more seamless and just feel better. And so when you go out in the world, that you feel comfortable saying hi to your neighbor. And social media, in its infancy in, say, early 2000s, gave us the ability to to connect with people that we would once never had gotten the opportunity to meet or connect with, and also to revive relationships with people that we met in our past. Now you can connect with, high school sweethearts 20 years after you have graduated. And it's also been an interesting experience for the human psyche. Many of you guys might have heard me talk about the Dunbar number, which says the human brain can only handle 150 people. And so now we've expanded just dramatically. And how do we navigate all these connections? And what I like to think of when I'm designing We Deepen is, we are inspiring you to get offline, to be with people in person, but these social networks online can support those connections, can support you to deepen with the people that you're already connecting to, and to also find collaborators that just help you get access to information and resources that support your overall mission and livelihood and interest. So what we've seen over the years is, the Facebook and part of my language, like fuckery of censorship and advertising, and sort of sometimes feeling like it's sucking your time and energy. It's like this love-hate relationship, which I initially started as like, hey, this can be like my scrapbook. I used to love, printing out my pictures and sharing them with friends, and now I get to put them online. So yeah, we're at this pivotal point where we need to unify, and yet the tools that are available to us right now might not be the best ones. We Deepen has recently invested in Circle. We looked at all of the platforms available to build community in the online space. And when I say build community, again, it's this community that is actually of people that are meeting in person and are also aligning on a value set. They are all people who are desiring to have healthy, meaningful, loving relationships. And so we've been looking at products, to support that. As I mentioned, Circle, Hive-Right, Mighty Networks, Tribe. There's all types of offerings right now, but this one that I mentioned, my friend Christopher had sent me, Liberson, is of interest. And so I have the founder here, Huynh, and we're going to dive into Liberson, hear a little bit of his story, because it's also really important as, we began these relationships and we want to align on values, and actually I want to work with the people that I like and love who have similar visions and missions. And Chi has a fascinating story
Well, thank you.
how you've arrived here in America. And I will just caveat that as I bring you into it, because you sent me a text message with your story, and it opens up to say that, when you were 12 years old, your mother, what I took is walked you down a dark alley and put you on a boat and said, I am sending you off for a better life. You'll meet your brother. I'll meet you there in the future. And here you go, my son. And there was, pirates. There was, being lost at sea for many days, weeks, sounds like a month, to this,
18 days, yeah.
18 days at 12 years old. And that, what a stark entry into the existence of being, human. So welcome you. I welcome you to the show and to this conversation. And I'm really excited to hear more about Liberson, learn more about you, and then assess how we can collaborate.
Well, thank you, Christina, for inviting me on today. We're going to be on a journey together today. And first time we are actually talking to each other here. So I'll be happy to share my story with you and Liberson at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, so when I was 12 years old, my mother walked me down the dark country road, and she said that she's going to put me on a boat, and the boat going to take me to this land of opportunity, which is America. I heard about it, but never really even saw it on TV. And she will see me someday. And when you were 12 years old, your mother say something, you believe her, and you're just gonna trust it. What she say to you, you don't question that. She must have done it for reasons, and that's it. So me and one brother and two sisters, we were on a boat. I was 12 years old, and we left the communists. It's illegal. If they catch you, you're in big trouble. You'll be in jail. So we escaped the communists on a small boat, a fishing boat. It was dark and a rainy night, and that's the best time when you try to escape, because it's dark and it's rainy, right? It's nobody is out there in the oceans, and we left on a small canoe, arrived on a big boat, big fishing boat that contained about 54 people. And we left that night. And within about, I say, less than 8 hours out of the ocean, the boat burned out. The engine shut down. And that's the one thing you would never want to be in the ocean, is stranded, the boat floating around, right? And it was very scary. They couldn't fix the boat, so we were just floating days and days. And the thought that going into my mind was, I don't want to die. I'm just a 12-year-old boy, And we were hoping to see something out there that can rescue us. So we saw the big boat on the horizon, We took our clothes and we put it on top of the boat. We stopped burning it to get some kind of attention. And it was great. And that big boat slowly appeared closer to us, and we were so happy. And they gave us some food, some water, and brought it up onto that big giant boat. And we say, oh my God, look at the boat we have. I would never go back on that small boat. But we realizing that they took us up on the big boat and gave us shower, gave us some food, so that they can clean it out. because we were so happy. We gave them everything we have. And they went down to the boat. They took the engine, they took everything, and they put it back into the boat. So they were pirates in a very special way, where we didn't know they're pirates out there, But then after that, you think about it. When you leave the country, you bring everything with you in gold, you see, because that's the international currency. So you're basically a floating bank. That's what it did. And they know we were coming, a lot of us coming in the early 80s, 75. And so now we were floating in the boat a few more days, and there's a thought coming to my mind. I say to myself, what did I do wrong to be punished by God? Be floating like this. We run out of food and water. We prepare only for 3 days, not a week. And I remember sharing the last spoon of water with my brother and sister, And then you started to pray for God to come to help you. You pray for your ancestor to come to help you. And then eventually, nothing coming. And then you curse at God. You say there's no God, because God wouldn't do this to a child like me. I have done nothing wrong. And then it starts to rain. And then you have some more water to live for a few more days, And then eventually you realize you've been in the ocean for 10 days now, and you're going to die. There's no more hope here. And the funny part about it is that the moment that you realize that you're going to die, and that's very scary, but you give up the fear of dying because you accept the fact that you're going to die. This is it. So you jump into the ocean and swim around just to enjoy another couple hours a day, this is all I got, a few hours left, and I'm going to die anyway, so it's not important anymore. But there's a strange feeling about losing the fear of death. I don't recommend anyone to have that kind of feeling, but it's a very strange feeling, because when you lose fear, fear is a powerful thing. You're not supposed to lose the fear of dying, But I did, and I'm sure a few of us also did, because we did the same thing. That's it. But you're not afraid anymore after that, and that's the strangest thing. But then, a couple of days later, we got rescued by a fisherman towed into Thailand, and I stayed in the refugee camp for 6 months and came to America. But the one part that I wanted to share with you, have you watched the movie called Gravity? When what's her name? Mrs. Bullock. She arrived at the ocean. At the shore, and she stepped into the dirt. That scene was so amazing to me, because I remember exactly how it was for us. It's like when we arrive, when you're in the ocean for so long, the only thing that you value the most is land, And the moment that you step onto the land, you pick up the dirt. All of us pick up the dirt, and we kiss the dirt, and then we kneel to the ground, And that moment is like, wow, dirt is golden. This is the most valuable thing I ever touched in my life. It's dirt. And then you look up to the sky, and you thanks to that you'll be able to breathe, because now you're alive, right? So it's the strangest thing, the two things that we never realize. The most valuable thing to us is dirt and air. Can you believe that? That's the only thing that I was caring about. It's like, wow, I'm alive and I'm on earth. It's an amazing feeling. And I think that's like the greatest transformations of being life is really about. It's like, wow. And from that day on, I tell you the truth, everything else is a bonus.
What a fascinating story. And you and I, as we have been texting back and forth for the past couple weeks, and I have been using this term, transformational experiences. And you respond, well, I like that you're using that word, transformational experiences. And as I was preparing, my mind knew that I was coming to this conversation with you today. And I am currently taking a program. I'm studying. I'm going to school on side of being the founder and CEO of We Deepen. I'm also getting my certification in life coaching, and an IFC certification. And in the program, there's a group of us in school, and we have a peer group, and we meet. And in our meeting yesterday, a lot of there's women. My group is predominantly women. So a lot of us are speaking about, overcoming our fears around coaching, from the self-doubt and the worry of not being good enough. And it's interesting to me as I was, going to bed and just pondering on sort of feeling as though this is wasted energy. Like, why are we in a group concerned about, self-doubt, and can we really support one another?
You're human.
And we're human. And in those types of transformational experiences that we were, if when you look at the bigger picture of life and humanity and all that has to be done, when you were on that boat, if somebody, walked up, you were going to ask anything that you needed for, you would ask. There's no hesitation inside of you to be fearful of how they will respond to you.
Yes.
You are in, a survival mode. And what I'd like to, switch from survival mode and be in a state of thriving. But as we move into the state of thriving, we have to operate as though we are video game characters of our own life. And when you operate as in you're a video game character, and I imagine being on that boat, it's like I'm playing for survival.
Yes.
And so you're more inclined to ask for help. You're more inclined to try something in a different way, and you don't have time to waste on, these, what is sometimes reverse ego, I'll say. It's we think that oh, it's not my ego, but sometimes our ego does hold us back from being the greatest version of ourselves and really shining out in the world and making the greatest impact that is possible, because we're so fearful of what other people think. And this, to be at 12 years old, to receive this, unfulfilled. It's not that you didn't sign up for this boat experience, but to essentially come out of that, it's it must be awakening. And I imagine that your existence, and I've seen how you have built a successful jewelry company and a brand, and you're an artist, and you have made great impact in the world.
Thank you.
And I imagine that experience, it kind of washed your fears away, because if I could get
you're totally right. You're totally right. And I think that we would be lying if we say that we no longer fear, but we recognize the fear and we know what it is. That's what it really is about, right? So, so recognizing what it did, that you have control over it, that you're not allowed it to take over you anymore. And then you're beginning to define the meanings of fear, you see. Like Shakespeare says, fear is fear itself. It's simple as he said it, but do you really truly understand that, right? So when you really think about fear, fear is hope. You see, you're hoping for something, and you afraid you won't get it, and it gives you fear. So the word fear is actually the seed of hope. You see, so the moment you're hoping for something, trust me, fear is slipping by your bed. You see, so when you recognize fear as hope, then you can hope without fear, because that's what it's really all about. And then I think trying to have a clear understanding of our emotion and the word that we use dictate our emotion that live inside us that we not quite comprehend. I think it's important. So for me, I was very lucky that I be able to face fear in the face for a week, right? And then I come to terms with it that I'm not afraid of you anymore. Because I accept that I'm already dead. You see, so then it becomes very meaningful, and then in some weird way, when I say you lose your fear, and really what I was losing was hope. I have no more hope. You see, so you see how that word is that I was hoping to be rescued, and if I don't get rescued, it scares me. So I was losing my hope. Therefore, I was losing my fear. So I think for you, what you were trying to say, that you were hoping people will love you for what you do. You were hoping for people to embrace the business that you are creating for them. You were hoping that you will help someone through your podcast. You were hoping that the word you say means something to them, that make their life worth living, and you make a small difference in this world. And that's a responsible person, I would say, would do that, right? But I think we take on too much responsibility, hoping that we do great things in the world. That brought great pressure and fear for us. So I would say, hope for something, but knowing that hope is fear, so that you can lose your fear, so that you can do what you want without hoping for something. It's a paradox. It's like, how do I do something without hoping for something? You see? So if you recognize the product of hoping for something is the distant thing, right? It's like it never really arrives, because it's the moment that you are doing something. That itself is life itself, is transforming you each day as you go into the image that you are hoping for, which is really existing within the moment that you're doing it. So I think maybe we should put hope not at the future, but at the moment. Then we will lose our fear, because then you'll be able to do anything you want now.
Yeah, I love that you're saying that, because I have been thinking of fear as desire. Because you're using the word hope. I've been using the word desire. They're both
it's the same word.
Same word.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times too is that the desire can feel so big, and sometimes hold us back. But if we just, take this, just start acting, like believing in ourselves that we can do it, and we are the video game characters.
That's very interesting. I want to cut you short on that one. Right? Yeah. So the thing is this. You always desire to do something. You see? Because you say that we believe in doing something. And then you will accomplish it, because believing is a very powerful thing. Right? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. But I learned something in my life that I recently, actually, I find it fascinating, because, I do a talk from here to there from university, where they invite me to teach them how to be students to become creative. And I always say, you must believe in yourself, because that's the most powerful thing. No one believes in you more than yourself, which is all good, right? And it's what one of my speech most of the time, and I tell you the truth, I wish I could go back and tell them, no, don't believe in yourself. You just do it, because you just do it without believing it, then you will be good at it, that you will believe it. Because you don't need to believe in yourself to do something. You do it because you want to. And then when you want it enough that you actually doing it, that it become real, and that you learn through the process, is life pushes you, teaches you to transform you to become what you have never believed you can. So trust me, believe in yourself is limited. Don't believe in yourself, it's unlimited, because you become something more than what you actually believe you can. So so to me, really, now I would tell people, don't believe in yourself. Just do it.
I love that. We're taking Nike in. Just do it.
That's weird. I don't know if they actually mean it that way, but I experienced this kind of stuff in my life before. Because most of the time, I would always say I do something because I truly believe that I am capable of. But I tell you, I have done things that I know I'm not capable of. But I do it anyway. And then life teaches me the knowledge of the thing that I'm playing with like a child. The nature of life reveal its secret to you that you did not know it was there. Therefore, so then I become something that I didn't really believe that I can. You see, so I have done things that I don't believe I can. So now, if you're asking me, I would go the opposite now. Don't believe in yourself. You don't need to. Leave that pressure off, okay? Now you like completely liberate. Now, first you want people to believe in you, and then you say you have to believe in yourself, and then now you come to the place where you say, don't even believe in yourself.
Yeah, the belief will come as you go.
Exactly.
Yes. Do you believe in God?
I believe in there is something special out there. You might call it God. You might call it the universe. You call it something, but I believe there is something out there that kind of, I don't believe this world exists like this for no reason. You know, something is happening, but I tell you the truth. I can answer you in a very strange way. I have a painting downstairs, and in my life, I go through different transformation, how to answer the question that you're asking me, because it's a tough one, you know. I can say, God is in a flower. And then I say, God is in my child's smile. And I would say, God is in all of us. So therefore, I believe in God.
I believe in God too. Let's jump into Liberson. Can you give me the genesis? How long ago was this inception, this idea? What is your intention behind it? And how can we deepen play? I know I just stacked 3 questions on you. But let's start with the origin of Liberson.
Yeah. So, you don't just wake up one day and say, I want to invent something. That's nonsense. A lot of people learn that I have invented a few things in my life, and they always think I have a special gift from God that I can invent things. No. You only do things because you recognize that it's a problem that you need to solve. And creatively going through that process, you invent something. Okay? So for me, I'm not, wealthy or all of that. I have enough for my families and the people that work with me, and I'm happy. So I was not looking for any more business in my life. I wanted to just paint picture and invent. But then one day, I saw that Twitter banned the president of the United States. And I'm not for any party in some way, but I just realized a president of the United States is as far as you can go. And he unable to speak what he wants on Twitter. And that's what's fascinating to me. It's like, how is this even possible? That means I will also be unable to... Mm-hmm.
Can I pause you for 1 second? I'm picking up some background noise in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go on a second.
Sorry, everyone. We just want you to have the best listening experience. So Chi is now...
Okay, I'm back. I have 4 kids, so I'm at home.
It's real life.
It's real life. And I say to myself, if the president of the United States unable to communicate, to express himself, and I'm an artist, and the nature of an artist here, I'm not saying artists are something special, but the nature of artists is to express yourself. Really, that's really our main motivation. We paint something, we create something, we share something because we want to express ourselves. And when I recognize, this is why I left the communists, right? because I was unable to be free, to say something. And I'm in this country, and now I'm so afraid of what is happening in the world. Like, oh my God, what if we can't be able to communicate anymore? This is wrong, right? And this was like in January or March of last year, 2010. 2021, actually. It's about 9 months ago. And then I asked question, and I want to be fair. You have to go deep into critical thinking about defining why you have this problem. Why do you feel this way? Why am I angry about what's happening? Why am I so fearful of this? Because so you look inside you are afraid of this because you're an artist. You want to express, and you're afraid that somebody can stop you from expressing, and all of that. And then I evaluate the problem, and everybody talking about censorship, talking about privacy, data mining, and all of that makes sense. But then I realize actually none of that is your problem. You see? Your problem is the web. And it's not any of the things we're trying to fix right now. And I see like Parler, I see many great companies like Circle. We all try our best to do something, but we are solving a problem on the surface. There is a deeper problem. It's the actual internet itself, which is the web, the World Wide Web that we create. And then I sympathize with Mr. Dorsey's and Zuckerberg and Google, and I say, you know what? They're not doing anything wrong. And that's coming from me, the guy that's really angry about it a week ago. I say, if I build a house and you sign up with me to rent a space to live in my house, I think I have the right to tell you to take off the poster if I don't like it. It doesn't fit my children's liking. If my wife don't like the curtain that you hang in my apartment, I might have to take it off, or I have to send you out and lock you and throw you away. You're banned. So is it fair? Yes. Is it fair? Because you know why? I own this space. I own Facebook. I own Twitter. I own YouTube. Therefore, I have the right to tell you what you need to do in my house. So you see, but then again, the government also will censor them, as you can see, because they live in the United States. So eventually, someone will censor someone. You censor your children all day long. Do you? Of course. You censor what? So this is the problem, is that censorship is not a problem. It's the web. So that's why we create Liberson. We realize that in order for you to be truly free, you need to own the social media by yourself. Meaning the web was created with invented by Sir Timothy Berners-Lee. He invented the web, that we all easily, conveniently connect with each other. And then you got the big company happen to adopt the model like Facebook, Twitter, and Google, and they create a public space that's convenient for you to connect with all of your friends through the web, right? And now they give it to you to use it, but then they have control over you. So your web and your internet would not your internet would not design that way. See? So the web, the World Wide Web, make it convenient. But then we have arrived to a place that we have no longer be able to be free. So Liberson designed that when you sign up with Liberson, it's like this. It's like we give you your own home. And we give you the key to lock. Even when I give you your home, I also give you your key that you lock me out from even going in your home. So when you sign up with Liberson, so you are completely on the social media. And this social media allow you to be able to upload your audio file, your messaging, your photo, your video. So basically you have YouTube, you have Twitter, you have Instagram, and you have Facebook that allow you to connect with all of your friends in a decentralized way. And that's the most difficult thing to do, because you cannot be decentralized and socialized at the same time. Because when you are, I'll give you a quick analogy. What we have changed is this. So right now, everybody live in the same house. Okay, so now with Liberson, everybody own their own house. Okay, and then so what happened is you have your own key. So so let's say if the government come and say to Liberson, Christina say things that we don't like, and the court would like to remove Christina. I say, I don't have a key. And the government say, if you don't shut her down, I'm gonna shut you down. And if they remove Liberson completely from the internet, you still survive, because you know why? You have become Liberson yourself. So that's why when you sign up with Liberson, you're not a user. We call you co-owner. Actually, we upgrade that to owner now to make it easy. So when you sign up, just imagine this. All the investment that I have spent in this new social media, when you sign up, you own it. Isn't that crazy? No businessman would do that. Because why do you build something and keep it away? It's almost, to me, it's like a nuclear bomb to socialism and communism. Because what they did is, the moment you own this, you'll be able to communicate with all of your friends, and you own it. No one can shut you down. The only way people can shut you down is they have to cut your phone line. And that is the one thing that the internet is working based on your phone line. See? So we don't use the normal web. We use just the phone line and the satellite. But now, you also, when you own this, you become the owner of this new social media, and you have complete control over your data. You see? So to me, it's kind of like, it's like you actually the owner. And at Liberson, there's one model and philosophy that I have meeting every Monday, is that every time we build a new tool in the system, the question we ask, do we have control? And if we say there is one place we still have control, then we have to fix that, because we only build things that we have completely no control over the system. And that's very interesting.
This is fascinating, and I have so many questions. Number one, I'll start. You speak about this being, you're building a neighborhood, and somebody buys a house, and you give them the keys to the house, and now you don't access the house anymore.
It's your responsibility now. It's your home.
So, who is Liberson's business? Is there a business model? Is there a revenue model?
Yes.
I'm buying the product from you to use the product?
Yeah, actually, I have to make some money in order to maintain this, but I have to do it in a way that I have no control over it. Okay, so this is how Liberson making money from you. Because trust me, if anybody say they give it to you for free and there is nothing, they would be lying to you, because you need to survive, right? So the way that we figured out how we survive is this: we give you your own social media platform, but you have control over your own advertising. See, so if, for example, let's say you're on YouTube now and you have people who suddenly you see an ad pop up. Well, you didn't have any control over that, and Google gives you like a 0.01% of whatever they make, right? From the click. So with Liberson, let's say if you're an influencer, or you have a lot of content from YouTube, and then you migrated over Liberson, and then now you have 1,000 people following you, and then you're talking about spiritual thing, and then I would say, you know what? I have a book about spiritual thing. I would like to sell on Christina's channel. Then I would click on, we call a Liberson ad. You click on that ad. I say, Christina, I would like to buy 1,000 clicks, and it's going to be 25 cents each. And then Christina get a notification saying, yes, I would like to sell that ad because I like your book. And then you agree. And then that ad will be submitted to you. See, so the advertiser actually soliciting you. So, but now you're getting 90% of the click, not 0.01. So you just increase like 89% of your profit now on advertising. So we not only decentralizing the web, but we also try to decentralize the wealth, right? And so the transaction, we take 10%, like your Visa, right? They take already 3%. So we create a platform for you so that you can have your checkout page. So whenever you make money, we take 10% versus Facebook, they took 90. You get like a 0.01%. So that's how we'll be able to survive in the future.
Got it. So We Deepen as an organization, we would essentially, what we're doing with Circle, we would license, or you would give us the product, and as our product began to creating revenue for us as an organization through marketing or advertising, that's how we are, or you know, but then we are also needing to get quote unquote members to use our own social platform. So is then like, we deepen as a community, we're using Liberson, someone else as a community, they're using Liberson. How do they all intersect?
That's a good question. And this is the most difficult part, because when you decentralize something, then it's very difficult for you to become a networking, because everybody is separate. And that's the beauty about what we are inventing here, is that we're creating a decentralized software. But how do we do it so that you will still be able to communicate through the protocol or the software that we engineer for you to be able to communicate with each other? And that's what they did, because it's the same thing. Let me try to make this really simple. For example, let's say if you have Photoshop, right? You send, you create an image, and then you email me an image in PSD file. Well, I need Photoshop to open that file. Yeah. So when you download Liberson, you actually download a software, and that software lives in your computer. So now you actually can host this thing in your computer. You don't even need Amazon if you don't want to, because the whole thing will live in your computer. You see? So, and everyone who have that software, it know how to communicate with each other, but no one have control over each other. And that's a very difficult thing to do when you have no control over each other. But how do you migrate the information that we are sharing and following from with each other is a crazy logic that that we have invented to solve this problem in decentralization. It's kind of like a new way that we have turned blockchain into social media.
Cool. I want to go. There's two directions that I'm curious to discover with you. Is one a little bit on the philosophy or the of how to navigate the development of what essentially is an online community, because I see a little bit of like Google and Facebook. You know, when you take these human-centric organizations out into the world, and there's responsibility that comes with that, and there's
definitely
guidance into that. And I think where a lot of the challenges that we've ended up in is because the guidance has not been through with a focus on love. So when you said there's the deeper problem in these countries, I look even like deeper. What is the deeper problem? From a philosophical level, I'll say that, well, most people didn't grow up observing healthy relationships. Mm-hmm. There's a lack of relationship role models. And the topic of love, relationship, conflict resolution, communication, intimacy, erotic wellness have all been completely neglected in our educational curriculum, which then opens up portals for addiction, for blame, for abuse, for suffering. And we're in this cycle that's passed on from one generation to the next generation. And so even the ones who are supposed to be guiding humanity, like the government and politicians and media and corporations, because they, quote unquote, they have the power, are just essentially repeating the same cycles of abuse because they're stuck in them themselves and they don't know how to do it. And so I see that, from working in my business, like one thing that I've since 2014 is when I've, began to look at this problem space, and really drilling into those particular problem sets that I shared with you. And love essentially is hard to scale. It's hard to scale love. Like, most people think that it comes innately and it's naturally and to get the attention to focus on learning their relational skills. But I think also now we're at a primal point where we can look around and be like, something's not working. Yeah. We're spending all this money on war. Why are we fighting so much? What are we even fucking fighting for? Exactly. And so in the design of a social platform, are you considering that? Because all types of communities that could be developed could be, there could be the sex offender community.
Exactly. Right. So this is it's a big question that we question a lot, right? It's almost it come to a place where, well, in order for you to be free, you must have complete control over yourself and your social media and your platform. That's the only way for you to be free. But then being free, now you're completely free. It's a scary thing because you are the one who with responsibility now. You see? Because you get to say whatever you want. No one can bandage you. Okay? But that also could be a problem because there would be people who do great things with this. There would be people who do bad things with it. But I'm hoping that this is life. People are like this. You cannot have that control over it. Like the Bible says, you give mankind the will. Liberson give mankind a new kind of communication. It's like a long time ago, our ancestors sit around the fire and tell story. And then we have the Gutenberg printing press, and then you print a book. And then you have the internet that you can, you'll be able to fax a sheet of paper to communicate, and then you have the web. But then we end up in a place that people control the narrative of our knowledge, what they want to feed us. And I think that's the dangerous place to be. So in order for us to be able to improve society and our life, it be able to allow everyone equal right to communicate in their own way. And of course, you have people, crazy people, or good people, they all going to follow each other. So with Liberson, my vision is this. I hate to say is to compare to Disney or something, but it's like a family thing. So with Liberson, I would like to invite great mentor, like Dr. Jordan Peterson. So great people like this that be able to join us to create great content that is educational, that it deepen our knowledge into the world, so that the parent feel comfortable to send their kid there. Because you know why? They have control over that. So now they can censor their kid. But at least they feel safe that they can create their own community, that it's not crazy, that it's completely emotional driven like out there, that, you get so tired of being fitting in all the politics, all the fighting, all the story that you no longer seem to understand what they're talking about, because everybody seems to have a reason for something, and it can be very confusing for people to kind of clear out the smoke in the air, and if you're not strong enough, you observe and you absorb all of this poison within you, and I think with Liberson, allow people to be able to create their own community, So that's why I'm very excited, because you can create your own church community. You can create your own school communication system within this place, so that the school can be within the school without, Twitter or Facebook or Google Classroom looking over your kid content or whatever. So that's what, to me, is really, it's a decentralized play, but it allows people to get together in a way that they feel more comfortable and safe with together. You see, and have complete control over that. So hopefully Liberson would be a place you go there and you're going to say, oh my God, I learned so much here, because these are all great people. And to be honest with you, I'm not objective to anybody who want to sign up with me, but I would like to have people who create educational content, people who bring something that mean well to the world, have something that they want to contribute great to the world, that do something different. And of course, you have all kinds of social media out there. If people who want to go out there, be emotional and go crazy and talk about whatever, there's plenty of that. But I would like Liberson to be that place that you trust, that you come, that you can learn something from great people all around the world.
Cool. Let's talk now. And I know we're 52 minutes in, so I want to check in with you on time. Because I do want to make sure that we get into how We Deepen and Liberson can work together or how does We Deepen take advantage of Liberson, and where do we begin? So are you okay on time?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I love that you had mentioned, Jordan Peterson and great content, because, We Deepen has been essentially developed by taking these thought leaders like Jordan Peterson and Esther Perel, Brene Brown, Gay and Katie Hendricks, Daryl Davis, Bell Hooks. Like, I look at the I'm going to call them the transformational leaders. Some of them are thought provokers. A lot of them, we found on TED Talks in 2014. And I studied them, and we essentially, built We Deepen, the genesis to solve that problem of human relating.
Great.
To do that through transformational experiences, because when people are in states of play and joy and fun, when they're learning relational skills, when they're able to practice human connection and love, I almost look at the experiences that we promote are, we saw the rise of like the fitness craze decades ago and workouts. And these are places that you can go for a human connection workout. You have to work those muscles of connection to remain in harmony with your family, your friends, your loved ones, your colleagues, everyone. We have to have places to go to focus on that. And that's what We Deepen promotes, as well as the education surrounding. So what our vision is for this network, because we call it a network, and I look at it as in the opportunities, it's if we join forces with Liberson in some way,
we're perfect for you.
Yeah, it'd be perfect for us, and it'd be perfect for the world, because also we have all the communities. We have, there's each of the experiences that we promoted, like Unleash, Mind Travel, Magic of Human Connection, Leveled Up Love, Esther Perel's discussion group. All of these are essentially their own communities. Exactly. And they all work together.
Yes.
And so where as opposed to and essentially all these communities working together, and when they work together, they create a society.
Exactly right.
And so it's bigger. It's bigger than just one community. One community can't solve it all. One church can't solve it all. Like we essentially are looking at that we are developing a system that's not confined to one particular location, one particular leader. We saw the fall of the guru, just not one person that can solve all your problems. So actually only guide you to inside yourself for you to solve them. And then And then one modality, meditation isn't going to cure your all existence. Like meditation is great. And so is sound healing, and so is NLP and EFT and Tantra and maybe plant medicines. Like there's all types of modalities for you to journey through and discover and to create a whole lifestyle for yourself. That allows you to put growth first.
Yes.
And that's part of our values. We Deepen has a value set of guidance it's the acronym for guidance. And in that is the G, which is growth comes first. We're unoffendable. We desire to receive for the sake of sharing. We operate from an intuitive flow. We are...
you sound like Liberson.
I think I already said unoffendable, and we desire to receive for the sake of sharing. So you have to sacrifice for a shared life, and that our wholeness depends on our relationships. Like we need each other, and it's been proven time and again. I think Harvard did a 70-year study.
There is no happy man living alone.
There is no happy man living alone. We need each other. So, And as I've shared with you, and you actually had questions about this particular part, is what We Deepen aims to do is to, one part of our vision is a tokenized economy.
Yeah, what exactly does that mean?
Transformational experiences. So what does that mean is, so I like to say We Deepen is supporting the development of the human connection industry. Sometimes that is interchangeable with the relationship industry or the love industry, but for the sake of this meeting, we're going to call it the human connection industry. And
good one.
Inside of that industry, there are event producers and experiences.
Yes.
And they need participants, attendees to show up and to be present with them. And the industry is it's fragmented. There's no one central location to go and discover all of the transformational experiences. And the industry is also unstable because sort of like yoga, when we think of like yoga teachers, when they started coming out to teach yoga, it was like, where do they find the students to come to their yoga classes? And so they need students and need support to help their businesses thrive. So a tokenized economy works like an Audible or a ClassPass, where that a member pays a monthly membership fee, and they receive X number of credits or tokens. And they redeem those tokens at experiences. So they're essentially prepaying to have access to experiences. They can, our vision is that they can actually bank their credits and roll them over month by month, or they can share their credits with somebody else. And that when they bank them, so that if they can go to events in their local community, or they can say, hey, I want to go to that retreat in Thailand. Or I want to save up to go to Unleash this year, or I want to do this course or curriculum. So they're constantly in an investment in their self-development.
I understand.
It stabilizes the industry because now we've created an economy of it.
That's very good. I understand what it means. Thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome. And then
that's a new fancy term.
And then within that economy is also a feedback loop, a reputation system. Because what we're seeing is the rise of the brands of transformational experiences. And I mentioned some of these brands before, and the brands are created because they've created an audience and they create which becomes their own community. So because when somebody says, I'm going to go out and build a community, I didn't necessarily say to build, We Deepen wasn't intended to be a quote unquote community. It sort of is the outcome. Because when people are having experiences together, they're creating connections and then communities form, and it's all
that's a great thing you're doing.
Or organic. And so we're bridging them between all the communities, and the reputation system is really important, especially in a society. And so that the experiences that are really transforming people, opening them up and delivering on a high quality experience are the experiences that continue to thrive, and more people get access to them. And so that reputation system of feedback to continue to improve the industry so that it doesn't stay stagnant. It's always striving to grow and be better, because growth comes first. And then lastly, within that economy is awards. We think of, look at Hollywood and the music industry, or even the politicians in the media. They've thrived because you have CEOs who get high dollars, so they're rewarded in that way. And then you also have, the Emmys and the Grammys, who you're awarding these people. Now, this industry, our industry of transformation, is is like an unawarded market. Who is hosting the greatest transformational experience of our time?
Right.
I want to see the top one. I want to know who the best listener in the world is. I want to know who is the top thought provoker, who is the number one teacher in relationships, not to put anyone else down below, but to give us something to strive for and to look for and to award the network. And I'll give you, I'll end my rant with this one last example. So in 2019, this is pre-COVID, We Deepen was building traction in the Los Angeles area. We had raised seed funding. We were growing month over month. February of 2020 in LA itself, we had 36 events. And we hosted a holiday party for our guides, essentially the founders of these brands of experiences. And one of the guides, and during this holiday party, we awarded them. We kind of showcased, like, here's this award system, and we went to actually Ross, and we bought all these beautiful awards, and one of them was given the Trailblazer Award was given to Miriam Kudrow, and Miriam Kudrow is the founder of Dance Alive. Dance Alive is a transformational experience that's been around for 49 years.
Wow.
It was blazed the way for ecstatic dance, 5 rhythms, Unleashed, like a lot of these other dance programs.
Sounds like fun.
It's so much fun. And we gifted Miriam the Trailblazer Award, and she looked at me after and she said, Christina, I've been doing this work for 49 years, and this is the first award that I've ever won.
Oh, that's wonderful. You do a great thing there.
So that's what we as an organization and We Deepen.
So where's mine? Just kidding.
Oh my God.
Not honor.
Well,
I'm way down that line. Which is I'm fine to be there. I'm perfectly happy where I am.
So let's give you something to work for. We'll create like best social network, and we'll have the nominations be submitted, and Liberson will be right there, and we'll see what is awarded.
My award would be everybody go there and download Liberson at liberson.org. That would be my great reward.
That everybody is using it.
Yeah.
So how do you see, as I just shared, that we have invested in Circle. I haven't had a moment to, we have New Year's coming up, and the Relate Fest and all these events happening.
Yep.
And we're in a growth stage. We're building our team. I'm hiring right now and preparing for another round of funding.
I see.
But we have, on the Black Friday special, we purchased Circle. What do we do? How can we get started?
Yeah, so so this is actually quite simple, and I did some research on Circles and a couple of different platforms that really care, and they do a great job. The only difference is Liberson is actually truly free. We no one can shut you down. You actually own it. That's what makes a difference. So when you sign up with us, so all you have to do is you invite your community, and then you'll be able to share all your content in that community. And all of the people in your community have the opportunity to networking or sharing with their friends, their families, or the people that they care about. Or they can upload content that they care about. And then all of those people within your community will have the same harmony, the same voice of the thing that you care about the most. And it's very simple. So that's how it would work. and no one going to tell you what you can say and what you cannot say because it is your own. So so that's hard. Liberson is a very simple thing. It's a combination of all the big social media network like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, but it just happened to be built in one software created for you to own. And you get to do and conduct your business as usual as you are doing it now. That's all.
So let me ask you, I've seen community leaders or groups that were started on Facebook, and they take a lot of energy and time to facilitate that community and to keep it high value, in integrity to their own individual missions. And most of these groups on Facebook that take a lot of time, that have been really powerful, are essentially being operated as like nonprofits. And a lot of them we're seeing as they're now looking towards groups like Circle and Bright and Mighty Networks, because it allows them to monetize their own their time. Yeah, they and they're not making money through advertisements, or no one's Facebook takes all the advertising dollars for them to keep engaging their communities on platform, right, or on Facebook. So how is it that if some of our guides and their brands are listening and they're in the process of doing the same, of having monetized their own communities, and whether that's like, you're joining and you're paying a monthly membership, and that creates a symbiotic relationship between the person who wants to be part of the community and engage, as well as the leader. It gives them now they're valued and they can actually spend time doing it. It's not pro bono. So it gets more attention. How on Liberson, if we were to say, hey, let's do that instead of Circle, Circle right now, we would essentially be able to charge membership and, for that, and to be fully transparent, we've been working and we're like, okay, the guides will pay $49 a month and they'll build their own communities in here, have their own spaces for people who are going to their in-person events to be able to connect in here, as well as the members, they'll pay like $29 a month. These are hypothetically, but what we're throwing out, and then we'll be compensated to operate the community and to allow it to grow and bloom. How would we essentially do that inside of Liberson?
Yeah, so basically, you still can use Liberson as a tool. You see, Liberson really is a tool, a software for you to conduct all the things that you are talking about right now through Liberson platform, or using your own process outside of Liberson, but you still can create the link within Liberson for you to be able to do that job. And of course, we're building new tool coming in next year here in a couple of months that allow you to be able to monetize, and even you'll be able to do advertising on your own, and you also can allow other company sign up with you and play advertising with you, but you have complete control over the process, who you want to allow to advertising, so you can, monetize your business. Because right now, if you're on Facebook or you're not making any money on Facebook, and if you're on YouTube, one day if they take it away, you lose all of your users, you cannot make any money. So with Liberson, no one can take that away from you, and we create a place for you to, to monetize your business in many different ways. So, so I see there's many different ways here that you can work with Liberson, the same way that you're already doing. The only difference is that you have complete control over it. That's really what we're doing different from everybody else. We're not creating anything new on the way that you monetize your business now. So you still conduct the same way that you always do. The only thing that we assure for you is that you are the owner of that tool. Right now, you're not. Right now, you still, even with Circle, if Circle disappear, you're dead. If they decided they don't want to be in business, or someone took over and they say, you know what, I want to rule you guys. You don't have, not to be disrespectful here, I'm just comparing two. I think they're doing a great job. But I'm just saying what really Liberson is doing for you. It's giving you all the things that you already know how to use, all the things that you already conduct your life and your business as you drive. The difference here that you have complete control over the interface, the software, the web, and your community. And that's why, we're currently working with different schools around the country now, and that we also helping school, the principal sign up, and the principal then connect with all the teacher, and the teacher connect with all the student, and the student can submit the homework to the teacher, and the principal allowed to oversee the whole infrastructure within the group of the school. So really what we are really doing, Liberson is a strange thing, not too complicated. We are really creating a new tool for you to navigate yourself on the web, that you have complete control and ownership of your social media and networking. Everything else you don't need to worry about. Everything else you still can do the same way that you're doing.
Now, if I downloaded Liberson now and I went into it and signed
2 more days.
I registered, but by the time that this is released, people will be able to download it. Mm-hmm. If I was to go then into, say, my search browser to try to, quote unquote, find friends, mm-hmm. would I be able to find that principal?
Very good. That's a big question. That's like the most difficult thing that we have implemented. Because you see, the moment that you ask to be decentralized, that means you cannot connect to anybody unless you have their email address or you have the phone number, right? It's the same thing like the phone line. You cannot just call people until you know their phone number. So if you're decentralized, there's no place for you to find. So Liberson have a solution for that. We create Liberson Agora, which is a public space that you submit your information to, and everybody in Liberson Agora or sign up with Liberson as an owner can go there like a coffee shop where you can sit and talk and meet people and listen to all the talk about something. And that is a play that is centralized. Liberson centralized, meaning we hosting that to help you to find friends. But the content, it belongs to you. So if you delete it, it's gone because it's yours. You see? So that's what we are doing. And then you also within your community, you also can create your own home, which is your public space home, right? So all of your friends can also grab the same information within the social public space within your home if you're creating that space. So that's why I say it's decentralized. So you have Liberson is the big place, and then you have Christina is another place, and you have the school at another place. You have Coca-Cola that can actually communicate with all of their community, right? And they have their own centralized agora or public space within the group. So that way you still be able to go there and looking for friends. But of course you won't be able to see the information until they agree with you. So it's like friend on Facebook, right? But it's different. And so the system we build is very interesting, and it's very difficult because the paradox here is that make it all complicated, that you want to be free, but you want to be seen. Right? Mm-hmm. So how do we do that? And that's really what we build is the more creative way with the web now, that we give you, it's like you have blockchain, right? Blockchain is like so perfect for security, but you can't use it because it's not user friendly, because the security is so strong that you can't even like make the thing work, because everybody is like individually alone. You're not really be able to socialize. So what we're doing is kind of like visualize this is like a mixture of Facebook and blockchain, a new kind of web. for you to do socialize. And I don't want to bore the listener into this because it's quite complicated and it's not what it is, but what does it serve, So what it serve is important, is that we set you free now. You're completely free on your own social media. You have complete control over your data that no one can stop you. So really that's what you just need to know is that. Mm-hmm.
And you say we. In the process, Liberson is a we. Who is this we, and are you self-funded? Have you raised funding?
I'm one of those crazy person that willing to earn something and do the best you can without any funding. And especially I told myself, because there is great responsibility with Liberson, if I'm building something to give it away, I'm going to add investor. Doesn't seem to make sense. I'm conducting this primary to set people free, which is myself and everyone else. To give away a free tool is not a business. And accidentally, I figured out how to be able to possibly make some small money. Look at Christina. We are going to eat 3 times a day. We eat in the morning, afternoon, and evening. And we are going to die rich and poor. You don't really need much more. But the reason that I have not going out there to searching for investment, I invest all by myself, because I want to make sure no one's going to tell me how to build this thing so that it's profitable. I build it to set people free. And if it happens that it's profitable, great. But that not should be our goal to conduct a business. It's a gift for me to society and humanity. It's such a wonderful thing to be able to do something. I mean, if it's like the chance for you to be able to bring a great tool, a great gift of communication to humanity in itself is an unbelievable pleasure. If you have that chance and if you see that chance in front of you, you almost feel like, I have to do this no matter what. So you do it the best you can first.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to diving in and getting my hands dirty with what's inside of this tech platform that you have built. I love the vision for it. I think it's important. And I'm curious to see how we can collaborate more deeply with Liberson. And also how the community and the listeners here today can take advantage of that. At this moment, I think that, as the release of this podcast, which should be December of 2021, that ends right before we jump into this new era of 2022. I like to say the new era of 2022 because that's what it is. It's, look at it at the era of human connection.
Exactly. A new tool of communication. Can you believe we've been living with this internet since the 80s? You don't expect that we have to do that for the rest of our life. Things don't stay the same. And this is the moment that we set all of us free from social media and take control back our life and our communication and deepen our communication.
Yes. So I'm going to be jumping in, exploring. If you're listening, you can go to liberson.org and you can download, come in and play together. And then potentially we'll do a future episode and see where we're at and give an update to listeners of how we're utilizing the software and how others and your journey with it as it's being received by the world.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you're doing and the role that you're playing. As I had texted you prior to this, I see you were chosen. You're here for a reason.
Thank you.
And there is purpose and I'm just super, super appreciative of your.
I think we're going to do a great thing together. I will make sure that all your podcasts and all of your show going to be on Liberson TV all the time.
Oh, yes. Perfect. Is there anything, Chi, that you would like to share before we end?
Well, just one thing.
Yes.
It's very simple, really. Life is not too complicated. we all have the right to be free.
We all have the right to be free. And is that right, the new story?
And that's it.
That's it. That's it. Keep your pens handy. Jump them out. Maybe you want to journal a little after listening to this episode. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Deepen with Christina. Go check out the calendar, wedeepen.com/calendar. We have all types of experiences coming to you for 2022. Unleash in Miami in March. We're also working on the Relate Festival, which is slated to be the Comic-Con of the relationship industry. We're collaborating with Esther Perel's discussion group, as well as Leveled Up Love. And this will be the space, the event, the yearly event for those within the industry, matchmakers, coaches, people with transformational communities to come together and meet with those who are interested in relationships and who want to geek out on that topic. So I'm really excited to bring to you Relate Fest, which will be March 4th through 6th in Miami, the week before Unleash. We also have some Thailand retreats and some Tulum retreats. So please go check out that calendar and join us. It's beautiful to have you listen in. But what I'm even more excited about is actually meeting you face to face and giving you a hug and sharing an experience with you. If you enjoy this podcast, do share it with a friend. Also now Spotify has a new rating system as of today. You can go in and you can not only follow the podcast on Spotify and also click that little bell to be notified of new episodes, but you can give us some stars and share feedback. Also, always welcome to send me that feedback. Christina Weber on Instagram. Email me, c@wedeepen.com. And that's about all I have to share. Thank you all for listening, and we deepen. Bye now.
Bye-bye.